yeah. Black sun in the hizzle, all for shizzle We got an excellent show here today. So y'all see the title. I want to talk about three things today. I want to talk about, of course, the tax cuts. I want to talk about the legacy of the Democratic Party and how it relates to. Now, this one's a tough one, especially if you're a Democrat. So, y'all are aware of Jeffrey Epstein and P. Diddy and all that, and aware of the connections between the Democratic Party. I'm going to take you guys all the way back to John Wayne Gacy. Who is John Wayne Gacy? If you guys seen Stephen King's It, what's going on, Joker? What up? What up? How's my mic? How's my mic? Because this is going to be a good show today. This is going to be a good show because I'm about to tie in all the things being revealed the Democratic Party, man. It is how's my mic? Clown killer, right? Did you know he was a Democrat tied to the Democratic Party? It was tied to the trafficking back then that still they caught him, but they didn't catch the ring. They said there was a whole ring of trafficking and um, how they kept the authorities kept looking over their kept overlooking John Wayne Gacy because he was part of the Democratic Party. So I find it interesting that Mike is good. Okay, thanks, Joker. So the reason I bring up John Wayne Gacy is because I look at how history repeats itself. I look at um, number one, Joker. I look at how Jeffrey Epstein, right? How they just keep kicking that can down the road. Like, oh, we're going to investigate. We're going to investigate. And they never investigated, even with, and I hate to say this, Pam Bondi, you know. Um, Now, Pam Bondi is doing, I mean, she's not perfect. She is investigating. She is going to goddamn bust Letitia James. So happy about that. They have busted those judges. Those two, actually, it's three judges now. Is it three judges or two judges? Well, there was one in New Mexico and one in Milwaukee, and I think there's another judge that they busted. But let's just go with two for now because I can't verify the third one off the top of my head. But definitely the one for Milwaukee. But I say that to say this is that whether you look at the Clintons, look at whatever, we've all are familiar with Jeffrey Epstein. We're familiar with P. Diddy. We're familiar with all these people being tied to the Democratic Party. Now, one more argument would say, well, Jeffrey Epstein's list has some judges that were Republicans. Okay, you got that. But what I'm looking at is when I looked at John Wayne Gacy, I'm seeing like, oh, this is nothing new. What we're going through with all the P. Diddy's and Epstein's and all that, and the um, like, Biden having an open border and over 3,000 or 30,000. I can't remember the exact number. I remember it was 30,000, 300,000. It was 300,000 children missing. And so I'm looking at the John Wayne Gacy case because, I was, it came across my feed. I said, oh, yeah, John Wayne Gacy. And like I said, I thought about It, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Like, this man inspired a lot of movies. Like I said, if you're familiar with It and Killer Clowns from Outer Space, what other damn movies did they? Now Ed Gein, that inspired Leatherface, but yeah, John Wayne Gacy, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, It's might be some other movies, man, but yeah, a lot of movies spawn from this guy John Wayne Gacy, and so when I began to look at him, you know, he was a high-ranking Democrat. and he was, went past Secret Service and all that, and they did ridicule him later to be more stringent on Secret Service like vetting. But the point I'm making is that um, the police, every time his name came up, they just kind of brushed it off. Oh, he's a Democrat, and they kept brushing it off. So interesting that when you look at that and look at the pattern and look at the whole pattern of how the authorities, the Democratic Party, all that operated back then. And then you look at some of these cases now and you're like, I'm thinking to myself, Joker, that this is bigger than John Wayne Gacy because he was tied to a ring of human trafficking. So, because this guy was so reckless, they let him be caught. But the thing is that when you're trafficking, you can't be. And I'm not here to definitely not here to advocate human trafficking. But what I'm saying is that they obviously uh, threw him to the wolves per se because he was so sloppy with his work, just like P Diddy was sloppy, just like Epstein was sloppy. Epstein was just so arrogant that they just was like, okay, you know what? Even though Ghislaine Maxwell um, wasn't, off. I'm gonna say this. John Wayne Gacy, if you look at how he operated, man, he was really, really, really messy as far as like leaving evidence. um, what I'm assuming, Joker, is that this network of traffickers are so tight knit to where it's going to be hard to it's going to be hard to what's the word I want to use? It's going to be very hard to oh no, I got to tell. No, 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 dude, your shit is jacked up, bro. Hold on, y'all, because this trucker is unaware his tailgate is open because the back of his damn thing is full of asphalt. Yeah, yeah, clean your shit, nigga. Damn, new jack. Oh, a new jack, a new jack. Yeah, saw your booty crack. Yeah, nigga, go clean your shit. I'm sorry, I'm sitting up here cursing. Yeah, new jack. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Look at this. I don't know if y'all can see that. See that? His tailgate is open because he did not clean that off. That is a rookie move. Oh, I'm so sick of working with rookies, man. Clean your stuff. Check your bed. Either you're a really lazy truck driver or you're a rookie. He looks like a rookie. He's driving D11. There's so many A's that have such a high turnover rate for D11. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Anywho, yeah, I'm sorry, man. Oh man, the field I'm in, man, it's certain things you gotta do, like check your tailgate after each load, especially doing asphalt. Take the little shovel, y'all, and clean it off. It's not that hard. It's not hard at all. God damn, these rookies, man. So, anywho, um, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me get back to the subject because that was not intended to be part of the show. But when I see stuff like that, oh gosh, I just yeah, I'm sorry, but anyway, yeah, when y'all look at the whole story of John Wayne Gacy, there's a YouTube channel called Forgotten History. Check that out, and you're gonna see the pattern of how what we're going through now with the whole Epstein thing. Look at the Vatican Pope. They trafficked the Nazi general out of Germany. You know that there's so many when we look at the Pope and how they trafficked the Nazis out of Germany into obviously South America, it makes me think about those judges that we have today. So what the fuck? Oh yeah, this guy. Oh shit, let me move out the way. I'm gonna go park because apparently, okay, I'll just park right here. I was in the truck's way. I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, Joker, can we? I mean, we could point fingers at the Vatican, but we could just come right back home in New Mexico and New Mexico and Wisconsin. Not saying I'm not trying to downplay the Nazis. I'm not trying to downplay the Nazis at all. You're right, 100%. And we're doing the same thing with these damn judges who are harboring MS-13 gang members, and one being tied to potential murders because he has them murders being filmed on his phone. So, yeah, you're 100% correct, Joker, about the Nazis harboring. I mean, I'm sorry, about the Vatican harboring Nazis, which is tied to us harboring MS-13 gangbangers. So, yeah, you're 100% correct. And no, let me take that down. I don't want to downplay. I'm not downplaying. I'm agreeing with you, Joker. I'm agreeing with you 100%. All I'm saying is that you ain't got to go way to the Vatican. We got it right here, harboring in our backyard by judges. By judges. So, you know, but you know what, Joker? One can say, one can goddamn plead your argument and then say your point and say, well, the judges have TDS. So the judges here have TDS, obviously. So, you know, um, so which brings me now to Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker. Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker. This is the state of the Democratic Party. The reason I bring up Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker is because when Letitia James, Big Tish, who's in big trouble, Big Tish, who's in big trouble, um, for some reason yelled out Hakeem Jeffries' name, talking about, oh, Trump is after me, this and that. And Hakeem Jeffries, I mean, she was just on a tirade, but she threw up Hakeem Jeffries' name. And so I looked up Hakeem Jeffries. Joker, is Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker, are they brothers? They look like twins. And I'm not saying that to be funny, but are they twin brothers? I can't tell them apart. I'm just saying. Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker look like the same person. And then I thought they were the same person until they sat by each other. And I was like, oh, okay, these are two different people, but they still look like twins. Just one, I think it's Hakeem Jeffries. You know, he's like a wannabe Obama. He got these hairdressers. And then Cory Booker, he got this high pitched voice, man. But obviously they're two different people. But I thought they were the same person. I don't know why I thought that, but don't know, could be. Okay. I'm just joking, Joker. I'm the one making jokes this morning. They killed the sitting president and got away with it. Facts. Yeah, she is a F joke. Yeah, Mike is good. Okay, so um, look at the Vatican popes there trafficking the Nazis out of Germany. Facts. Okay, so Joker said also, Joker saying, I agree with you. There were some general that got off because they ratted on each other. That. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't know. Could be. Yeah, they did rat on each other. That is true, man. I mean, and that's why I keep saying. And Joker, I don't want to bling up Zelensky, but you made that point. So now I got to bring up Zelensky. Zelensky, and it's funny, they were at the Vatican when he met with Trump. He needs, the point I'm making is that, real quick, let me make this point and I'll get back to the main topic. Zelensky needs to turn himself over to protective custody. And I say that because, like you said, the Nazi generals, the mafia, um, all have had protective custody. So Zelensky would be a prime candidate for protective custody if he just comes out and saying his life is being threatened. Again, I told you guys that Zelensky's wife tried to leave the country and they detained her and brought her back. And like, no, no, you do not leave country. You stay here. You do not stay here. So now she is not allowed. Uh oh. Joker, you still there? Joker. Are you still there? I think might have cut off my feed. Press the one if you can still see this. Oh shit. They didn't cut my feed. Uh oh. Uh oh. Joker, press the one. Press the one. They cut my feed, y'all. Press the one if y'all can still. One feed is good. Okay, thanks, Joker. Thanks. Appreciate it, man. Because yeah, blanked out for a minute. So, um, let's get back to John Wayne Gacy. But I was just saying, yeah, Zelensky needs protective custody, just like the Nazis, just like the mafia, just like all the people that turn state evidence. They go into protective custody, and I haven't heard of any cases. Correct me if I'm wrong, Joker, of people being assassinated under protective custody. That's all I'm saying. So let me say this: Trotsky was under Mexican custody. So when Stalin assassinated him, had him assassinated, that was under the Mexican protection. It wasn't under our protection. So just putting that out there. But back to John Wayne Gacy. He was protected by the Democratic Party, as it appears, back in the 19 late 70s, from 75 to 78. And he had a crime spree for about 75, 76, 77, 78. So let's just say about 5 years. He had a spree of killings. Basically, he had a spree of killings, and that um, he had a spree of killings, and every time the authorities was contacted, they overlooked it because, oh, that's Mr. Gacy. You know, he's tied to the Democratic Party, and so they left him alone until it got so obvious. I guess he got so boldened with what he was doing. When you keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it, you become more confident and more aggressive and more boldened to keep doing it, because I'm assuming when he first started doing it, he was very careful, you know, burying the bodies and all that. But then he just began to get careless and sloppy. So there you have it, man. Y'all check out Forgotten History with John Wayne Gacy. Check that out and look at the pattern and look at what's going on today. So nothing new there. Okay, let's get to the Trump tax cuts. So Donald Trump, which the news media is not going to tell you this, is that he's pushing for the middle class, anybody who is making 200,000 or less. I got to say this again. $200 or less. 200,000 a year or less. That means if you make minimum wage, you fall into that line. I had a person tell me, oh, that's the middle class. You're not the middle class. And I'm like, okay. So now they cleared it up. $200, 200,000 a year or less. Less. So if you are working and you make less than 200,000, you will be part of Trump's tax cuts. So I'm here to clarify that because people, they try to discredit Trump as much as they can. They try to discredit him. So I'm like, well, do you know the details? That obviously that's for the working class. Joker says Epstein key victim committed suicide. Yeah, I don't know if Hillary had something to do with it. Joker, from what I hear, is that um, the victim, she was about to talk to Pam Bondi. So you mean to tell me she's alive all this time, and then Pam Bondi gets in the office, and now all of a sudden um, she passes away? Because they say, oh, well, she got hit by a bus. She got hit by a bus 2 years ago. Correct, Joker. Correct me if I'm wrong. She got hit by a bus 2 years ago. Am I not? Am I missing something? If I'm missing something, Joker, let me know. She got hit by a bus 2 years ago. Please fact check me. Please fact check me. Please do the fact check, man. Please, because I'm like, I know I heard about her being hit by a bus 2 years ago. So please do a fact check so I know I'm not crazy. Please do a fact check so I know I'm not crazy because I believe that was 2 years ago. And you mean to tell me she just passed away? Y'all are using that as a, well, she passed away due to injuries from a bus, like making it seem like this just happened. No, she got hit by a bus 2 years ago. But maybe in my old age, maybe I'm not getting the time correct, but I believe Joker, it was 2 years ago. Let me know. Please, 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 please let me know. I'll wait. I'll wait. I'll let you fact check and be like, no, Mr. Blackson, it happened such and such. Let me know because I think it was 2 years ago. I believe it was 2 years ago, but let me know, man. Please fact check me on that. I'm the type of person, man. I'm not good with time because time be flying. I live in such a routine, that time is flying. So again, when I heard about this, I believe it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago. Um, but again, I could be mistaken. I could be wrong, Joker. So to my audience, if I'm not correct with that information, let me know. But the victim, I got to get her name. Damn, I'm sitting up here talking about her, and I don't even know her name. But the woman who just passed away, they're making it seem that she passed away due to injuries from the bus accident that happened 2 years ago. Now, I'm not saying that injuries won't cause complication long term, but what I'm saying is the body will heal even if you have, well, I ain't gonna, well, except for spinal and neck injuries, I get that, but to have that type of complication and then Pam Bondi gets in the office and now you pass away, I'm just saying it's kind of fugazi, is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, she passed. Okay, so let's see. I don't know if it was 2 years ago, but she did get in an accident with a bus. But the bus driver said that the accident was not that bad as media reporting it. I will say this, Joker. She was able to walk away from it. So I don't know. You know what? I'm not gonna judge her accident because I wasn't there. But the bus driver said it wasn't that serious. I want to. Well, I'm just like I'm not buying it. But again, I don't know if it was 2 years ago or if it was just recent. I don't know the date, but I think it was like 2 years ago. But I ain't gonna dwell on it, Joker. I'm not gonna dwell on it. But she did pass away allegedly due to complications from the bus accident. Allegedly, I I have my doubts, but I'm not an expert on car crashes, bus crashes, and complications due to those things. Um, so Joker said media is also pushing the idea that her husband had been abusing her. Man, come on, man. What the hell? Yeah, see, Joker, that's see, they pulling, they're grasping for straws. They're trying to find anything to justify her passing away. Well, she was in a bus accident and her husband was abusing. Yeah, that's like, obviously they're grasping for straws. And when the media grasps for straws, it kind of, my antennas go up, just like your antennas are going up right now. Both of our antennas are going up because, okay, so bus accident and abusive husband, you just grabbing stuff. You grabbing stuff to distract away from the obvious that Pam Bondi, who is now the Attorney General under Donald Trump, and now all of a sudden her husband was abusive, and now all of a sudden, oh, she got in a bus accident. You're grasping for straws and you're distracting away from the fact that Pam Bondi was about to talk to her. Because we know Biden, that's why I said, I think it was 2 years ago, Biden wasn't going to investigate her. Biden was obviously going to invest. Mr. Sniff the young girls on the hair. Uh, uh, Mr. Sniffer in Chief. His administration wasn't going to investigate the Epstein. But all of a sudden now Trump comes into office and Trump says to hammer down on predators and all that stuff, and child pedos and child chomos. Yo, all of a sudden now she passes away through the complication or her husband abused her, and man, come on, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that. No, bro. I mean, that sound like the media's grasping for straws, but we all know the media. The media is a joke, man. Nobody, and they were like, oh, nobody trusts us. Duh, obviously not. Obviously not with all that fake news going on. Not with all that fake news. Joker said they came up, they cover up, they cover it up, and they just hope that people will go with the headlines. Man, ain't nobody going with them headlines, man. We're too smart for that because the media, Joker, they discredited themselves. The media, they're pushing out TDS to everybody, man. People's TDS comes from the news media, if not most of it, if not all of it. So no, the news media, man, no, man, no, bro. We're too sharp. Number one, and we have the internet to fact check everything. So once upon a time, I would say back in the '90s, you would be like, "Oh, complications from a bus accident," and we would just roll with it. Yeah, that was the old way. Or her husband abused her. No, we're not going for that. We're not going for that, Joker. And so now, in the age of fact checking, the news media can't survive because the news media, they push out a narrative and we're just supposed to jump on that narrative and just run with it. Just launch off into space with that narrative. And it's like, nah, we're pumping on the brakes now because we're fact checking and we're analyzing and we're having discussions like this and we're saying, nah, it's not adding up. And we're able to challenge the narrative now. Yeah, Joker, we're able to challenge the narrative now. We're able to come together like adults and be like, this ain't adding up. This ain't making sense. Um, Joker, I've been in an accident where I got rear-ended by a bus. I got rear-ended by the bus. Um, Now, every accident is not the same. I'm not going to say that, but what I'm saying is if the bus driver said it wasn't that bad and she was able to walk away from it, and I don't think that bus accident was recent. That's why I said the 2 years because it wasn't recent. The bus accident wasn't recent. And again, if it's not documented neck injury or spine injury, then I I'm not going to really, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. Unless you have a documented spine injury or neck injury, then the accident, I'm going to say, like the bus driver, wasn't that bad. Don't die on me. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Joker, is it? Uh-oh. Joker, press 1 if you can see the video. Oh, shoot. I think I'm buffering. Uh-oh. Press 1, Joker, press 1. Uh-oh. Damn. 1. Okay, okay, good deal. Good morning, Black Sun and Joker. Hey, Ruby. Hey, we were just talking. Hey, Ruby. We were just talking about, and I'm sorry, Ruby, I forgot her name, but the Epstein victim who just passed away. We were just talking about, number one, her being in a bus accident, and then news media seeming like that was the cause of her death. I believe Ruby, but Joker said, nah, it wasn't 2 years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago she was in that bus accident, but I could be mistaken. But Joker don't believe it was 2 years ago, but it wasn't recent. And then Joker said that the news media made it seem like her husband abused her. So they're grasping for straws, distracting away from that Pam Bondi was about to investigate the whole Epstein thing. Now, earlier in the video, when I first started the video, Ruby, I talked about John Wayne Gacy and how I didn't know John Wayne Gacy was tied to the Democratic Party and that he had his crime spree for a span of 5 years. The authorities looked the other way because he was part of the Democratic Party. He was part of the Democratic cabal. So they just, and the reason I bring up John Wayne Gacy because I see a lot of similarities between Epstein and P. Diddy. And also the similarities of the open Virginia Guthrie. Okay, Virginia Guthrie, right. So, um, Ruby, when did she get into that bus accident? Was it 2 years ago or when was it? Do you know, Virginia? When did she get into that accident? Because me and Joker we were trying to narrow down the time span because the media was trying to use that as a, well, she passed away from, they made it insinuated like she passed away from complications from the bus accident. A bus, then they stressed the bus accident, and then she was abused by her husband. So they're using all these bus accident, husband abuse, away from the fact that Pam Bondi is now the attorney general and she's looking into the Epstein case. So now we got them all of a sudden making these other things an issue. Oh, her husband abused her, the bus, she got into a bus accident, she got hit by a bus. So that's how the news media gets down. But we're able to say, nah, let's look at the timeline. Again, I want to look at the timeline of the bus accident and her husband abusing her. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility, Ruby, but what I'm saying is that the timing is suspicious. When Pam Bondi, where people are pressuring Pam Bondi to do investigations on Jeffrey Epstein, I'm calling I'm calling it out as it being fugazi all of a sudden. All of a sudden, y'all want to throw up these things to distract us in bus accident. Um, like I said, I was telling Joker earlier, Ruby, if the bus accident didn't cause it would be documented serious neck injury or spinal injury, then you know, Ruby says not sure how long ago it was, but her wounds look superficial. And yes, the media is trying to say she was abused by her spouse. Right, right. And Ruby, what I'm calling out it being a distraction from the media because the media don't want to talk about Jeffrey Epstein. The media barely want to talk about P. Diddy. So, and just like with John Wayne Gacy, back in the day, they didn't want to talk about that then. It's only now, 40 years later, we're talking about John Wayne Gacy only because John Wayne Gacy inspired the movie It and inspired Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It inspired so many horror slasher films that now we're paying attention to it. But back then they didn't put it in the news. So it'll probably be another 40 or 50 years before we really focus on a Jeffrey Epstein or even a P Diddy or whatnot. So um, yeah, when you look at the whole documentary of John Wayne Gacy, you see a pattern of how things are going on now. But let's get back to the. So I'm getting. That's just to catch you up, Ruby. So now, um, Ruby, Donald Trump has signed the EO executive order um, for some tax cuts for the middle class. Now, you know how people are trying to spin this, Ruby? Middle class, that's not the working class. So now they had to come out and say specifically 200, if you make 200,000 or less, working class who makes 200,000 or less is getting the Trump tax cut. So when they wanted to try to make it seem like, oh, well, working class people, we're not going to get that because the middle class is 200,000, you know what I'm saying? But they forgot the less part. See how they try to play on words and they try to play with people's emotions. So yeah, even if you make minimum wage, yeah, that's less, 200,000 or less. So now some might argue, oh, well, 200,000 is a lot. Okay, I give it that, but the part that people not talking about, 200 or less. The sign that's greater than lesser than. So everybody that's lesser than, well, shoot, lesser than fits into that tax cut. So now the news media is not pushing that, and for the Trump haters and the ones with TDS are making it seem like we're not going to be privy to that. So yeah, I just wanted to definitely come on and clear that up because it's sad that Trump had to come out and make two statements about his tax cuts. Saying the middle class, and then he had to come out and say $200 or less to specify. So yeah, I thought that was a really interesting. Uh-oh, the media and the Dems are always playing three-card money. Thank you, Ruby. They're always playing the three-card money. So, you know, they're always playing the three-card money, and this is why. Oh, Ruby, how was the show yesterday on Roland's show? I know she talked about Shay Shay because I mentioned Shay Shay the other day. I was saying that Shay Shay is the um Shay Shay is the template of how YouTube wants black people to present their platforms, to present their that's what they want black people to do. Not only black people, but I'm sure uh, every other content creator. They don't want people, Joker. They want to talk about it because they are tied to it. I don't know. And okay, Joker says they don't want to talk about it because they are tied to it. I don't know in what form, but they don't want to talk about it as it goes against the controls and power. That's a fact. In fact, I'm gonna tell you, Joker. I'm glad you said that because Miss Rollins, who they're suppressing her views, just like they're suppressing my views. Um, Miss Rollins did a show on Shay Shay. Now Shay Shay is the template of what they want the direction to go in. They want to talk about sports, and if sports don't work, then they try to get in entertainment. And if it's not entertainment, then it's just straight buffoonery. Ruby says, I was hoping you would come on. We needed a male perspective. Some of the comments were really going to the left. Yeah, Ruby, it's like the thing about those kind of conversations, they can go in so many directions. And this is why I said, you know what? With that being said, Ruby, I agree with you. But sometimes Miss Rowland wants it to go in a certain direction. And you know me, sometimes I want to make sure that me and Miss Rowland, I want to see what direction she's going in so I can assist her. But if she just throw it, oh, I want to talk about this, and then I don't want to, I don't want to embank the conversation. If that makes any sense, Ruby, it's just like um, Shay Shay is designed to distract the masses, and Shay Shay, Epstein, Diddy are allowed to do the things that they do as a reward. So they've been knowing Shay Shay were dating young girls and all that. They all date young girls. They all date underage girls, and they all um, in this world are very abusive to women. You know what I'm saying? They're very abusive. You know, it's just it's a fetish that they have, and so the thing is that they will throw a Shay Shay under the bus to distract people. It makes perfect good sense. It is her show. I am just a person that likes balance. No, no, no. I agree. I agree, Ruby. And I'm gonna be on. Um, I'm gonna be on Miss Rowland's show more often. But I gotta make sure, as a guy, see, you need balance. But Ruby, sometimes you as a black woman, you could do things that I can't do. Now, I can say this, Ruby. Check this out. Listen to what I'm gonna say, Ruby. Like what's her name? Jasmine Crockett, right? I want this guy to beat Jasmine Crockett because she's no good as far as a congresswoman. She's just but there's only so much I can say about her. You, Miss Rowland, y'all can dig in on her. See, me as a black male, I can't really dig in on Crockett. I can just say she's a horrible congresswoman, and that's it. Miss Lynn be going in. She know, but see, black women, y'all can do that. Y'all can attack other black women like that. I can't be a part of that because I'm a black male. So, um, what I'm saying, Ruby, is that I have certain boundaries, if that makes sense. So I'm not gonna attack black men and black women when white men and white women are doing the same thing, and vice versa, and vice versa. So what I'm saying, Ruby, is that I have to know Miss Lynn's agenda and see if because I don't want to derail the conversation. I mean, yeah, if it's a balance, but like I said, when I looked at that, I said, man, that can go in so many directions, and it could become chaotic. Me, what I like to do is take the bigger picture. Shay Shay is used, and they're gonna continue to use people like Shay Shay, people like P Diddy, people like that to distract. When they want a distraction, they will throw a Shay Shay under the bus. They will throw a P Diddy under the bus when this is the norm for them in that industry to date underage girls, to date. Well, I wouldn't even say she wasn't even underage, but to even abuse or even be allowed to be set up in that situation. There's so many. It's kind of messy, and what I like to do is what I like to do, Ruby, is yes, there should be balance, but what I'm saying is that I don't want, it's like Miss Lynn is painting a canvas. She's painting a picture, and I don't want y'all to be distracted from what she's trying to convey. You know what I'm saying? Because I know she gets a little frustrated if it goes way left, like you said. But again, when you have men and women in a situation like that, and the girl is recording a private conversation, it's just so messy. It's just messy, and it's designed to do that, to divide people, split people, and allow them to be distracted when there's a bigger picture. Me, I'm always looking at the bigger picture, and going after Shay Shay is to me is like it's kind of pointless. It's kind of pointless going after Shay Shay, knowing that Shay Shay is being used for a greater picture. They purposely threw him under the bus because they already used him as a distraction. They knew he was going to be a target. Hold on, yo. Hold on. So okay, what I'm saying is that I already knew he was going to be set up as a target when he interviewed Cat Williams and when he interviewed Kamala Harris. I said, oh yeah, this damn dude, he's the next for the distraction. And so when you say, well, what's the um, I'm looking at the judges, which is a bigger issue. Does that make sense, Ruby? To me, the judges, Harvard's is a bigger issue. The judges going against Trump is a bigger issue than a Shay Shay, if that makes any sense. Ruby said, I live by words, distraction leads by to destruction. The powers that be want us to concentrate on the nonsense while they are doing slate in the hand of throwing us all under the bus. I totally agree with that, Ruby, and that's why I said I pick and choose my battles. And attacking Super Mayor Tiffany Hillier or Jasmine Crockett to me is small fry. That's small. Me, I like to, you know, analyze the bigger picture. And this is why I'm always talking about Zelensky, talking about Putin, talking about the Middle East, things that could lead to a greater catastrophe. Shay Shay, on the other hand, I mean, what he doing is a dime a dozen. I mean, what are we going to solve by bringing up Shay Shay, who's a distraction? All that's going to do is cause division because Shay Shay can go in so many directions. It's so many directions. And it's kind of, I don't, to me, there's bigger fish to fry. And so, just like they threw John Wayne Gacy under the bus. If you look at the documentary and look at how close John Wayne Gacy, not only was he sloppy, but he was going to bring down the trafficking that was going on in the 70s that was tied to the Democratic Party. And why they hit John Wayne Gacy under the bus because he was being too slammed. So just like Shay Shay is a sacrificial, John Wayne Gacy was a sacrificial lamb. But they knew what he was doing. And let's look at John Wayne Gacy and let's look at Shay Shay. No comparison is there, will be. No comparison is there. Just like with the judges, what the judges did compared to what Shay Shay did, no comparison. Does that make, am I making any sense, Ruby? So I can't be pointing fingers at damn Shay Shay, what he did, and there's like bigger things to really discuss. And so when I look at Shay Shay, what he did, and I'm looking at what the judges did, and I'm like, well, obviously what Shay Shay did is a distraction. Because they're trying to, okay, what the judges did was 1,000 more egregious. And this, Ruby, is my whole point. I can't get on Miss Rowland's show and talk about Shay Shay when these judges did 1,000% more egregious. That's the point I'm making. So I can't get on there and distract from Miss Rowland's because she's be concentrating on Shay Shay, and to me, there's more bigger, more important things to discuss. That's where I'm at with that. And you know, I love Miss Rowland. I love her. I love Miss Rowland. But every time I get on the show, I'm like, yo, there's way more important things to talk about. That's all I'm saying, Ruby. There's way more important things to talk about. And I think Shay Shay is a waste of time. And I may be entertaining, but there's way more important things. You know, I'm not really, I'm not interested. If you got the judges doing what they're doing, and in Shay Shay, I'm not interested in Shay Shay. Ruby says, absolutely no disrespect. I love my sister as well. Put some of the subjects do not hold my attention. Some of the subjects hold my attention. Yeah, because again, it comes down to more important issues. Like I said, we have to pick and choose our battles. And I think we have to pick and choose our battles. And for some reason, when they use a Shay Shay, they think that black people will be distracted by that. I'm not distracted by that. I don't fall for the bait. Especially when you come out with judges who harbored a MS-13 gangbanger with people on the phones being beheaded. Did you hear about that, Ruby? The judge and his wife in New Mexico was harboring an MS-13 gang member who had images on her phone of people being beheaded. So, Miss Rowland, I'm just saying, Sister Rowland, I love her. Yes, I saw that. And this is why I can't be talking about no Shay Shay. This is why I can't talk about no Shay Shay because we got judges that think it's okay to harbor illegal aliens that have images of people being beheaded on their phone. I cannot, yo, I cannot worry about Shay Shay. And some young thought that's recording his phone. I can't worry about that. We got judges in the U.S. harboring young woman. I can do that. I, that right mind is at. This is on a level that I'm on, Ruby. That's why, again, with all due respect, I just, certain conversations are just not going to, certain topics and conversations are just not going to do it for me. All right. And this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at. And so that's why I have to have a sit down. I try to have a sit down with Ms. Hollins and I try to discuss these things, but I guess she look at it as, I guess it's not sensational enough. I guess Shay Shay is more sensational than harboring a young MS-13 gangbanger with images of people being beheaded on their phone. That's where I'm at. So again, I want to be on this Roland show, but again, the conversations have to be a priority, is what I'm saying. We are eye to eye. There are way too many more important issues to the day that are not race related. Yeah. And I'm not really drawn by the whole racial thing. That doesn't, because I think they try to keep when it comes to race. Come on, doggy, move. I know you're eating, dog, but you got to get out of the road. Come on, sweetie. Come on. Get out of the road, baby. I know, baby. Dang. Come on, mama. Get out of the road. That's the neighborhood dog. She's always, and I guess she's trying to feed her pups, but she got to be aware of the road, before she get hit. Come on, young mama. You got to get out of the road. You can't be, I love dogs, man, but dogs need to be paying attention, man. Man, dogs are so trustworthy humans. That's why, no, come on now. You be aware. This is your neighborhood. You still got cars coming through here. Okay, I'm sorry, dog. That's the neighborhood dog, and she's always. I guess she got pups, but yeah, she's got to be, and she's comfortable in this little neighborhood, but people still be flying through here. So yeah, she can't be so confident that. Now I'm not gonna hit her, but you know, because she always sees me coming and she just don't move out the way. But when she can't get comfortable, is what I'm saying. She cannot get comfortable. She cannot get comfortable because she will get hit. So, anywho, y'all, I'm sorry, but it was a neighborhood dog eating, trying to find food for her pups, but in a position to get hit. And dogs are just too trustworthy humans, man. I know. Anywho, so yeah, that's where I'm at. Um, Again, shout out to Miss Rollins, but again, I gotta be motivated. Like I'm motivated to talk about the judges and all that. Like I said, you got judges who are harboring a young man with images of people being beheaded on his phone, like videos of people being beheaded on his phone. If you got images on your phone of people being beheaded, I'm gonna think that you know those people. Let's see what Ruby says. The viewership has been low, not all due to shadow banning, but show topic matters. Yeah. I again, uh, again, Ruby, do you like Kenny Rogers? Ruby, you might be too young, man. You might be too young, Ruby. Ruby, you're kind of young. I know you heard of Kenny Rogers, but I don't know. You might be too young to remember Kenny Rogers. But if you have, I'm going somewhere with this, Ruby. Yes. Okay, so Ruby's heard of Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers' most famous song my favorite song is "You Got to Know When to Hold, Know When to Walk Away, Know When to Run." So, in in the case of Miss Rowland, she was doing Tiffany Hilliard, and she was getting a lot of views. But Kenny Rogers said you gotta know when to fold. So if you're winning a card game, eventually when playing poker or playing blackjack or playing spades or whatnot, you gotta know, is this even with gambling? If you go to Vegas, or Biloxi, Mississippi, or even in New Jersey, Atlantic City, you gotta know when to fold. So yeah, when she was talking about Tiffany Hilliard, she was getting a lot of views, and drama. That drama brought a lot of views. But now you got to know when to fold, Miss Rollins. And I say this with love. You got to know when to fold. When you got topics of people harboring fugitives, that drama stuff, yeah, it was good for the time, but yeah, it's not, it's not going to. Oh shit! What did it just fail? I'm sorry, y'all. I got stuff falling. What I'm saying is that when you got these judges being arrested as of right now, you got to know when to read the room, read the temperature. That's why I don't come on every day, because I'm waiting and waiting for to really be moved by something. And when these judges did what they did, as y'all know, I've been cranking up the videos because I'm like, yo, This is something we need to discuss because we got judges harboring potential killers. Because this is what MS-13 does. They cut people's heads off. I hate to be so damn graphic. And we got a judge who's harboring these type of people. Ruby says, Black Sun, I am almost a decade older than you. Okay, okay, Ruby. You look so young. Okay. Ruby says, truth is you really need to put some study time and research time if you're going to do YouTube successfully. I agree. Ruby. And what I'm learning about YouTube is that YouTube, um, just like with the topics, um, you can't be pigeon-toed, and and even I do this, because I'd be talking about Zelensky, Russia, and Zelensky, but I'm not going to talk about something unless it really concerns me, if that makes any sense. I'm not going to talk unless it really bothers me. That judge harboring the young man with all those images on the phone bothers me. The situation in Ukraine, when that situation was provoked in 2014, not 2022, bothers me. So I'm not going to cut this camera on unless something bothers me. So I'm going to give you 100% of what is bothering me, Ruby. And if Shay Shay is not bothering me, then I'm not going to bring down Miss Rowland's show because of something I'm not interested in. I'm not interested in Shay Shay. I can care less about Shay Shay. Shay Shay and those kind of topics are a dime a dozen. So that doesn't bother me. So now when I come on here and discuss what I discuss, I'm going to give you 100%. Like, yo, that the images of people being beheaded, when I hear about that, that bothers me. And you mean to tell me that a judge, I'm just like, was harboring this type of person? That bothers me. That 100%. Oh, shoot, hold on. Ruby, you still there? Oh, shoot, I think my phone drama and buffoonery will create a show on its own. Yeah, it will, and I'm just like I said, I'm not interested in that because we see that every day. And again, if a person is hired like Shay Shay he's designed to bring buffoonery anyway. And so, yeah, he's gonna be a pitfall because they already know what he's doing. They know what Shay Shay's been doing, and they probably sent the young woman to him and all that. So yeah, I can't be distracted by that. I can't be distracted by that, But I get it. Some people do things for views, but no, I got to do it because it bothers me. And yeah, so again, the last time I was on Miss Rowland's show is because they were trying to compare. Now, do you remember this, Ruby? They were trying to compare Trump to Woodrow Wilson. Do you know why I came on that show, Ruby? I came on that show because I was low-hanging fruit. Because the one thing that they campaigned against Trump was he's going to take your right away to unalive your baby. That was the narrative. But they try to compare him to Woodrow Wilson, who was all for black people unaliving their babies. That's why I was like, oh, that's easy. That's the last show I did with Miss Rowland because it was very concerning to me. And it's like, dang, y'all use Woodrow Wilson compare him to Donald Trump, two complete opposites. Because the one race to me, you know, race becomes the issue with me, Ruby, is when you're talking about unaliving your child. That's it. Race is not the issue when it comes to the job market or owning your own business or working a job. That's competitive. That's competition. But when it comes to unaliving your baby, your child, that's when it becomes a race issue to me. That's the only race issue I will deal with. is the unaliving of your child, because that's the only way. Does that make sense, Ruby? What I just said? Because I missed that show. I would have had to play devil's advocate on that one. Yeah, I understand, Ruby. I get it. I mean, again, I get what you're saying, Ruby. And yeah, I understand you would have to play devil's advocate. I get it. I get it. And I would just show the facts that yeah, he was all for baby removal. Woodrow Wilson was, and they campaigned against Trump, saying that Trump is going to take baby removal away. That you should, that women should have a right of baby removal. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that if that makes any sense, Ruby. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but to compare Trump to Woodrow Wilson with the only racial, to me, in my opinion, is the own, baby removal thing, which I mean, it's I know it's a touchy subject, but again, that's something that Woodrow Wilson was all in for, and it was something Trump was not for. So to compare those two presidents, Woodrow Wilson with Donald Trump, was just like, nah, I don't think so. So that's why I came on, because to me it was low hanging fruit. I wish you were there though, Ruby, because I guess I wish you would have been at that show, Lou, because yeah, you would have. I think you would have definitely, like I said, playing devil's advocate would have added a lot to that. But it's just one thing I was looking at was the baby removal issue. That was it for me. And again, to me, that's the only time that race comes into play for me. But I don't, when it comes to all these other issues, I don't really pull up the race card until you talk about baby removal. That's just me though, Ruby. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not, you know, saying whether you agree or disagree. I'm just saying that that's to me it was a low, it was an easy topic to deal with, and I'm pretty sure, no matter how I looked at it that day when I went on Miss Rowland's show, I knew it was I could discuss it within the realm. Like it wasn't going to go far left or far right. No matter what direction she was going to take it in, I was going to be right with her. Like we were already in sync on that topic because of her knowledge of Margaret Sanger and the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazis, how their agenda was to make sure black people, a specific race of people, but some can argue, well, not only black people, but less desirable people, which black people fell in the line as far as the Nazis and the KKK and Margaret Sanger and Woodrow Wilson were concerned. Abortion was that tool to make sure these people that there's a population control. So to me, that was a racial issue. But other than that, I don't apply race to a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to attack a black man or a black woman when, again, when you look at the judges and then look at Shay Shay, there's no comparison. So yeah, I'm not going to be distracted by Tiffany Hilliard or a Jasmine Crockett or a Shay Shay. I'm not going to be distracted by that. I'm just not. And I guess, what Miss Rowland has to do now is really prioritize and pick and choose your battles because they're far more important things. So whatever you deem is important, there might be something more important to the audience. And so that's all I'm saying. So I think I don't think Roland's audience is razzle dazzled by a Shay Shay is what I'm saying. Miss Rollins is a nice woman. I think people want to congregate and enjoy her vibes, but the topics, yeah, they have to be a priority as far as importance. And to me, I don't think Shay Shay is an important topic. There, that's what I'm saying. Oh shit. Oh, Trump versus Wilson. That is ludicrous. We are eye to eye. Ruby, are you there? Oh shoot. Uh-oh. I think I lost the signal, y'all. Uh-oh. She said, oh wait, what time is it? 8:41. Uh-oh. I can't see. Yeah, Trump versus Wilson. Yeah, she said that's ludicrous. Yeah, it was ludicrous. That's why I said that it was low hanging fruit, Ruby. That was easy. That's why I was like still here. That's why it was an easy topic that I know it wasn't going to be. It won't railroad. Like I can come on with that topic that Roland had and really contribute to it, knowing and knowing that it wasn't going to be derailed into a whole another direction. It was specifically okay. How do you compare Trump to Wilson? Like that is ludicrous, and it was so easy to do. I said, oh yeah, I'll do that. That's easy. But again, that was important because they were trying to compare Woodrow Wilson because of his ties to the KKK, and they think that people were so emotional that they'll be like, oh my gosh, hey Beverly, how you doing? And so that's why it was easy for me to come on and just dismantle the whole comparing Trump to Woodrow Wilson. That was easy because I saw what they were trying to do, and I could easily flip that on them with the whole baby removal issue. That's why that was so easy. That was easy work. But again, the thing with Shay Shay could divide up man, woman, black, white, interracial dating, underage dating, abuse to women. That can go in so many directions and be messy. And that's what it's designed to do. But sometimes Miss Rowland can get caught up in her emotions and not see how they're trying to distract her. And so she has to be more strategic. If she's going to do this YouTube thing more successfully, you got to be more strategic because you don't want to alienate men, number one. Because, again, Shay Shay is a black man. No matter how much of a buffoon he is, he's still a black man. And so I look at that as a black man and be like, oh. And then the woman reported his conversation, and I'm like, oh. So, yeah, and then, there's so many red flags in that conversation. I'm just like, nah, you know. And I get from her perspective, sometimes a red flag topic can draw in more people because I guess people are drawn to drama, but her audience is not drawn to topics. We are more intellectual. You, Ruby, me, her audience, our U.S. Army retired, Beverly, all her people on a certain level, and they're not going to be razzled and dazzled by the buffoonery. And so Miss Rowland has to evolve and understand her audience is smarter than that. We don't, we're not one trick ponies. And bringing up a topic like Shay Shay is a one trick pony. And so she has to understand that we are way above that. And to feed us with um, topics that are more stimulating and intellectually challenging than some buffoonery like Shay Shay. And just like I said, it's a messy topic all the way around. So that's it. But shout out to you, Beverly. Shout out to you, Ruby. Shout out to who else came in here today? Oh! Shout out to Joker, man. Shout out to y'all. Let me get back to the news because again, when I come on here, y'all know if I cut on my camera, it's because something is bothering me, and I know you guys are on the level to help me out with some of these topics. I'm not going to bring you sensationalism, but I will bring you things that's bothering me, and I know that you guys have the intellect to help me get through the that you guys have the level to help me with some of the issues that bother me. I'm gonna just leave it at that. So with that being said, thanks for the like. Thank you, Beverly, for coming out. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you, Joker. Yeah, y'all. Thank y'all for helping me out. Beverly, just real quick before I go to get you caught up, we were talking about the tax cuts and all that. Blackson, do you have an email address? I gave you my email that you made public to your subscribers. Yeah. I thought I left it in the thing. Oh shoot. You know what? I'm gonna have to put it in the description. Yes, the arena. So you're gonna have to play back this video. The arena, TheArenaATL at gmail.com. The arena ATL at gmail.com. The arena ATL at gmail.com. That's my email. I thought I wrote it down, but that's it. So now I said it on the thing. So yeah, contact me, Ruby, and yeah, because Ruby, man, I be having so many topics, and I do want to take this to the next level. I do want to take it to the next level. As you know, I'm doing more videos now, even though I still get the buffering. It's not because of my data. It's because when I travel, it goes from tower to tower. So sometimes there's slight interruptions. Even though I paid for more data, they can't help, or they're not really designed to where I'm supposed to be doing shows from the truck. So again, when I travel, it's going from one tower to another, and when it does that, it's buffering. So until they improve that technology, y'all gonna have to be patient with me. But I'm able to come on more often, and I will have a more uniform time when I come on. Like like I said, it's either before 9 o'clock or after 9 o'clock, because at 9 o'clock there's another stream I like to I like to attend to. So like when that stream is done, I'll crank on the show, or before it, So thank y'all for coming out. Again, I will do another live tomorrow. The arena AT. That's it. Yes, ma'am. Yes. That's it, Ruby. So yeah, contact me, Ruby, because Ruby, I wanna discuss like so many topics, and I wanna really start polishing my work. I do want to take it to the next level. So, and I know you will help me with that, because I do need that balance. So Ruby, contact me and shoot some topics to me too. Shoot some topics, because you be on it, Ruby. Not saying that nobody else is on it, but what I'm saying is that no matter what topic I bring up, you guys seem to be in tune. Like, you guys don't get lost. Like, oh, I don't want to discuss that, and oh, who cares about this and that. It's like, no, you guys see the importance of the concern that I have. I be having some concerns, and I think these concerns affects us all. Like World War III affects us all, and I don't have to tell y'all that. You guys naturally know this. Okay, wait, hold on. Oh shit. I'm sorry, y'all. They got me doing all these back roads today. All right, so shout out to Miss Beverly, shout out to Joker. Let me get going, because they got me in the neighborhood here, and they got me on these little small roads, and I got to go through this neighborhood. So let me get off and see, dead end. Oh shoot. Okay, I got to turn around. Damn it. All right, let me get going. Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for coming out. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the share. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace out, y'all.